He was an Iraqi, a shop in Winton, recommended, but it didn't work. So what I've done is spoken to another shop recommended to me by Andy, who I met on the beach with his hub e-bikes, and he told me to contact Cycle Works in Parkstone. Did that, couldn't see me because they're so busy. So I unravelled all the masking tape this Iraqi man had put on the bike shop in Winton, all around the connections, and I found 2 wires off. The yellow wire, which I remembered to be on the JST plug, SM55 pin. Now these plugs are very, very delicate, so while he was wrapping the masking tape on, he'd pulled out 2 wires, the yellow one, and I believe the black one on the other side. So there's a black one hanging here and the yellow one there. So with Tim, we've connected them all, and the bike works now. So I'm happy about that. Now the next stage today, we're going to be soldering these wires together. I have ordered the JST connections and I've ordered soldering sleeves. But I think the best thing to do is to put solder all these wires up with sleeves so they're waterproof. What is a good system is a piece of inner tube goes on the cable, and that will slide over the connections. Don't use masking tape because they're delicate. This is probably the weakest point on an e-bike. These are the sensor wires, a bit like telephone wires, that control the hall sensors in the motor. But now it's working. And we're going to get the inner tube on. I've got the inner tube ready here. Got scissors, everything we need, lots of screwdrivers. And Tim's coming round now at 10 o'clock to solder up. I'm going to have a go at soldering as well. I need to learn it. Important to get this wire correct, well away from the wheel. It's a shame this wire isn't a bit longer. If it was longer, put it all in a box around here. Good space here, or up there, or even here, which I've seen done. But it's not quite long enough to do that, so it's got to go on the frame here, which also soldering lends itself well to that, because it'll be as thin as possible, bunch them together nicely. And these are the main power cables for the motor. I think there's 3 of them. And we're going to take them off now. Here's 3, 1, 2, 3. Take those off and unconnect all this. Put the inner tube on, ready. Solder it up. Connect the blocks up again with the power. They'd be better soldered as well. So if you solder it, you're not going to be able to get the wheel off unless you cut it or desolder. But soldering is the best, not these connector blocks, because moisture can get in. But by putting the inner tube over it, and then you seal it at both ends with clip ties. So you've got a sealed little container with an inner tube. I learned that from someone. So, let's see how we get on.
Have you got some little wire cutters then?
Yeah, we've got the pizza nose one.
It's only, do you know what, Sam? For the sake of, it's only 2 centimetres, isn't it? I'd be tempted to cut them down. Because you've got slack here, haven't you? Okay, I'll solder that.
What you're doing here is shortening the main power cables.
I'm just trying to get them all lined up so there's no stress on.
So the little ones have no stress on them, which they did before. And then we're going to put it all in this inner tube. So Tim has put these on. And then so they've been shortened, so there'll be no tension on the... These are the sensor wires. They're very thin.
Control wires, aren't they?
Yeah, the control
signal wires.
Sends a signal to the hall sensors in the motor. But if one of them comes off, it won't work. It can be all covered up in masking tape, which is what happened to me. But these JST connectors that it comes with, you plug them together. I've got these tiny little, tiny little connectors. And I question the reliability of these JST connectors. This is them here, look. They go in, you connect the wire, then you slot them in there. Soldering, I think, is much, as long as there's no tension on it, much better. Obviously, if you want to send the wheel back, just cut it and resolder it. Put them together, do you?
I did, yeah.
So Tim's twisted the little wires together, heats it up with the soldering iron,
And tries to solder.
and drips the solder on. Right, Tim's putting the heat shrink on now with the soldering iron. Did have a heat gun ready, but all the wires are soldered well together now. There's no tension on them like before, because we shortened Tim shortened the 3 power lines, and then the inner tube will go over all that. There is some spare wires which don't connect for things like regen braking, but I haven't got that. Other things you can do. There's quite a lot of things not connected. So this is the little JST connector that they use in all e-bike kits with hub motors like this. I don't like them really. They're fiddly, wires can come out, but possibly because we had some tension on them, especially when the bike shop taped it all up. So I'm happy to get rid of this. Even though I've ordered a set of them off Amazon, they do 5-pin, 4-pin, 3-pin, 2-pin, often used with LED lighting.
So if you need to get it apart though, what are you going to do?
Cut it, then you have to solder it.
But you don't need to get it apart often, do you?
No.
Only if something goes wrong.
Use these. I've forgotten the name of these. Basically, you put the wire in. I get the right size one. Put the wire in there, and then you crimp it. So when it goes in a connector block, it's getting a better contact. All finished. Good job. Got a nice smell actually.
That's my aftershave.
So that's going to all slide in to hopefully this
In a tube.
inner tube.
So these are all wires.
And then it will be clip tied to the frame here.
Do you know what might be nice? Just to tape them out of the way. Put a bit of tape on it. I don't know.
Do you want some tape?
I would leave them. I'm just wondering if they...
So he's trimming now. Trimming down
It's a tight fit.
the connector blocks. So they slide in the inner tube better. And at each end of the inner tube will have a clip tie to waterproof it. Let's have a look at this, Tim, the inner tube. Just get...
It's a bit tight.
It's nearly done. Just a bit to go.
Cool.
Right, it's on. Lovely, nice job. So clip tie here, and at the end it's waterproofed it all. It's all in there. Well done. Okay, see if it works. Put the power battery on. The screen's on, you see. Throttle.
We have light.
Right. Haven't got the torque arms on yet. So I've got to be careful, don't give it too much power, and tighten up the wheel nuts properly.
Saying he, when we had a dog, golden retriever, he said it wasn't until the dog died that he realised he was allergic to it, because suddenly he's always had a runny nose. As soon as the dog died, his runny nose stopped. He never realised it was the dog.
Nice job. Thinner than it was before.
So do we want to go on the outside, Sam? We do, don't we? You don't want to risk putting it near the disc. Wants to be there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got tie? It's radius, you're into the radius at the bottom.
We'll check the wheel nuts and tighten them. Pretty tight, but you don't want to be too tight, I think. I've got torque washers on there. So there's a tremendous torque from this motor. You don't want this coming off, spinning off. So it's to prevent that shaft moving. So it's got sides to it. A good job, look at that. Cable all nicely clip tied in the inner tube. That's a racing bike inner tube, so it's a bit tight. The smaller the better. We'll reclip this one and then up here as well. So now I'm going to try it. Upend it and right it, and then give it a ride. Not too much power though. I've still got the torque arms to come from an engineering company.
Quick up there.
Now, probably change later about the e-bike. Going well. Going to go right down to Rockwater and then up to Westbourne.